actively serve and worship and be happy doing these things, you're not going to have an idol worshiper that can be a servant. Worshippers, they don't willfully submit, right? But their heartbeat, their lungs, their eyes, their cells, all of that, the atoms that make them up all submit and glorify God. But as far as servants, so this is important for us to really think about too, because Satan is always watching us, so he's going to try to, he said, for the devil will always try to drive away. He just doesn't say, the verse. I mean, this is in the same way, the devil's always, he's not going to leave us alone, right? That's another thing I think it's important for us to think about, like we make progress, um, in our submission to God, we continue to grow our soul, but we're not supposed to, like, I'm gonna use the wrong term here, but slack off. And I'm not saying any of us do that, but we have to be vigilant. And this is actually what the Quran, refers to, I believe, as being steadfast and persevering, like keep moving forward, even if you slide back or you have a hiccup one day, or your week might not have been that good, you can repent. The messenger talked about it. Each day you can engage in repentance, but this is meaning those who hold the Quran as their only source and worship God alone, and are submitters. He's going to work hard to try to do different things, but we should also be amicable towards others unless they transgress. Your Lord knows you best according to his knowledge. He may shower you with mercy, or he may requite you. We did not send you to be their advocate. Your Lord is the best knower of everyone in the heavens and the earth. In accordance with his knowledge, we preferred some prophets over others. For example, we gave David the Psalms. Say, implore whatever idols you have set up beside him. They have no power to relieve your afflictions, nor can they prevent them. So God knows us best, and I think maybe what this is referring to is the contents of the soul, because I mean of course he knows, like, our personalities and stuff, and different, everybody has different personalities, and some people might just different upbringings, different, but as far as us, the real us, God knows each one of us. And so with this, I mean, he may shower us with mercy, or he may requite us. Um, I mean, we're really blessed, to have the message and come and make it this far. And so, or just, maybe that's not that's not a good example, but we can we can see here, how when a human being transgresses, there's either going to be, I mean, hopefully repentance follows, but I mean, when you're in ignorance, living in the days of ignorance, knowledge, some prophets were given knowledge, some prophets were given, like David was gave the Psalms. So the Psalms are mathematically coded here. Like David was gave the Psalms. So the Psalms are mathematically coded here. When we're reading that, people implore, when we're reading that, um, people implore aren't even alive. They're dead. Like the sparrows. I mean, you have to get the provisions, and you have to worry about the rotation of the earth and the moon and around us, or Muhammad, or any of the saints. I mean, like, you ask them to do such a task, you ask them to do such a task, I mean, they're not going to be able to do it, and that's just, I mean, that's his greatness is why, one of the reasons, big reasons why they worship idols. Because you don't have this anywhere else but in the Quran. The Lord of the universe, the one who's holding the earth and the universe, the heavens and the earth and the universe is within his right hand. I mean, you don't hear that anywhere else. So this is, I mean, that's one of the reasons why, uh, thank God for all the information and wisdom in here. But even the righteous idols worship God alone, so they're seeking their Lord's mercy. And so what does this say for us? We should also, of course, we're doing the same thing. Um, we're doing the same thing. Um, uh, However, they're not taking this for granted. They fear his retribution. They don't take it for granted. And then also the verse says, the retribution of your Lord is dreadful. So losing God is the ultimate retribution. And we can't really even imagine it. We're just told, it's going to burn like hellfire. I mean, much worse than that. I mean, it's going to be even worse, So if you think about losing losing God forever, losing all your provisions, losing your eyesight, losing your hearing, losing your soul, you know, I mean, this is really what's dreadful. And we're given allegorical descriptions. You know what I mean? It could be, whatever it would be in the hereafter. Feel like fire, beast, whatever spiritual fire, like some people might think. But nonetheless, the real punishment is losing God, and then the real, on the other hand, the real gift of paradise is having God as your only God and having Him as your protector, the one who provides for you. The one who's providing for us also right now. But there's not going to be any provisions for the disbelievers in the hereafter. That's as we know from I think Surah 14, maybe I think it's. There's not a community that we will not annihilate before the day of resurrection or inflict severe retribution upon them. This is already written down in the book. So the system's always the same, right? The transgressing communities, but it's also interesting. It says there's not a community. So I mean, every community, I guess, um, all these communities that transgress and disbelieve are going to be wiped out. I mean, you can see, like Pharaoh, the people of Pharaoh, who even the Roman Empire, I mean, the most powerful empire on earth, the Ottoman Empire, so I mean, maybe, but they all, if you look at their religions, a lot of them, they ended up as pagans, or just disbelievers. All kinds of miracles made obsolete. What stopped us from sending the miracles is that the previous generations have rejected them. For example, we showed Thamud, the camel, a profound miracle, but they transgressed against it. We send the miracles only to instill reverence. We informed you that your Lord fully controls the people, and we rendered the vision that we showed you a test for the people and the tree that is accursed in the Quran. We showed them solid proofs to instill reverence in them, but this only augmented their defiance. So this has a footnote. Muhammad's journey to the highest heaven to receive the Quran, as stated in 17 verse 1 and 53 verses 1 through 18, is a test because the people had to believe Muhammad on faith. So Surah 53, just real quick, as the surah starts out, um, something like, when the stars fell away, I think Muhammad was not astray, and meaning like he was traveling, and this is explained, he was traveling so fast, he was brought to that the stars literally looked like they're falling away. And I mean, some of these stars are so many light years away, like the distance between one star and another, and then they're just all falling away. I mean, it's amazing just to think about what that could have been like. But this is a miracle, like we were just reading the footnote, that the people had to believe in. The vision that was showed to Muhammad, and he went to his people and said, people, believe me. And then he was given the Quran, which was a mercy for them and the entire world, up until the end of the world, too. And also the tree that is accursed in the Quran, I understand this to be, it's referencing, the original sin, when, basically, in other words, the idol worship, right? The tree, I think refers to this too. That's where I was, I think refers to this too. Thinking of, he said, then go, you and those who follow you will end up, he said, then go, you and those who follow you will end up in hell as your requital. Prevalent today within the United States, within the world, like with states within the world, like within our governments, and I mean it's more than our governments, and I mean it's more oblivious today than ever. But Satan promises these people, and by their life, whether they realize it. I mean, it's ridiculous, but like anything the devil promises these people is no more than illusion. So he gets them, he just invites them, right? He promises them, the human beings that fall. So I mean, it's the same thing. Why? Like we see the dialogue between Satan and his constituents. On the day of judgment in Surah 14, he said, I had no power over you. I simply invited you, but you accepted my invitation. And he disowns them after. And he said, even his complaining can't help them, and they can't help him. So, but, back then, we can see was used, but he can't blame Adam, or even though he hates Adam and all his descendants and things. But we can see, like there's people that still exhibit these traits. Like what if God created, I'm just maybe I shouldn't say this, but this is just to what I'm saying is like he created created Adam from mud, lowly material, and created Satan from fire. But this made Satan think he's somehow better, right? But he doesn't realize it's the same with humans. People think that they're better just because they're from a different family or they look different. And probably it's the opposite, like usually, I mean, we can see like a lot of the trend because these people are also so shallow to think, first off, it's not even a real person. Second off, it's just like saying like, oh my, the color of my cup is better than your cup. I'm like, who's to say that? I mean, it's stupid. It's comparison. So I mean, I mean, this is, and I'm bringing it because we can see, uh, you have no power over them. Your Lord suffices as an advocate. Your Lord is the one who causes the ships to float on the ocean that you may see, like Mercury, for example. Mercury, which in its liquid form is buoyant, but you fall in by accident or something, you get maybe some chemical burns or something, I mean, such is the greatness of God in this, like stuff you couldn't even imagine, like stuff you couldn't even imagine, like it's almost like it would be out of a dream, like if you look at a lot of the same elements and things, but I mean, you're talking about like, um, I mean, hurricanes and lightning, like beneath, uh, so these are bad weather friends. These are people who, when something, some affliction, different wake up calls. But I mean, those who are meant to be saved. But this is there's no such saved. But this is there's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole. Because like a foxhole is like once you're in there, there's no other way out. Like you're in there. There's no other way out. Like you're either gonna be the hunter. The hunter is got you. You come out, you're gonna get blasted, or you're gonna You know, I mean, this is like for hunting, for food and stuff, of course. Or you have traps, you know, or you could have fire and stuff around you to keep you in there and smoke. But I mean, it's the same way how humans are. I mean, it's kind of a funny saying, you know. I grew up hearing that about atheists, you know, because any atheist, you know, and we have proof of this too. They turn into believers when they're in that foxhole, you know. But as soon as they exit, they forget, they revert, and they turn unappreciative. You know, they don't recognize that it's the God who's the one who saves them, and He saves them again and time after time. And so, this is human beings' nature to be this way. Have you guaranteed that he will not? Saleh, I mean, they couldn't guarantee because it didn't. The retribution ended up coming to all of them. You know, in every single case. I mean, so verse 70, we have honored the children of Adam and provided them with rides on land and in the sea. We provided them good provisions and we gave them greater advantages than many of our creatures. The day will come when we summon every people together with their record. As for those who are given a record of righteousness, they will read their record and will not suffer the least injustice. So, being that we're a little past time, I'll stop here. If there's any comments or questions, please feel free. And if I made any mistakes, may God forgive me. Thank you.
Well, shall I thank you? Good study. Inshallah, welcome back. We're doing your salat. I remember 2 days ago I was reading this verse at dawn. I remember 2 days ago I was reading this verse at dawn. The first verse you read, 1744, and when it said of the seven universes, the earth and everyone in them. Just that alone. If we try to, you know, and try to absorb that, like, it's so profound that God is what God is saying here. That this is how amazing God is, and this is how much there is reverence for God all around in the universes. And if you compare that to this dominion of Satan, and how people are just totally indulge in their worldly life, where they have no clue of any about any of this. It's so far away from reality. But in reality, uh, all these creatures are glorifying God constantly, and we don't understand, the glorification. Yeah, I think in the Master of the Covenant gave the example of a rock. And it's like even like a rock, you look at it and you think it's just a rock. But if you look deep inside the rock too, like you have all these atoms and electrons and protons and neutrons, following the precise design of God, and vibrating and moving in accordance with God's laws.
Yeah, mashallah, very true.
I think the stream got disconnected twice in between, so they got like 3 videos from the study already. 3 different
Oh,
streams.
was it during the study it got disconnected? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, during the study. So it created 3 different streams already.
Yeah, the internet is better when I leave, like I am now. Yeah. But it wasn't.
Mm.
Yeah, sometimes it's spotty. Maybe I should get a Starlink or something. But then Elon Musk will be watching it. Yeah,
It's
the
so
service.
clear, right? Mm-hmm. Verse 46 is so clear that when you preach your Lord using the Quran alone, they run away in aversion. Yet, you know, um, yet people don't pay attention to this, and still, follow other sources besides the Quran. I mean, these are clear verses in the Quran.
Yeah, very true. They're very clear.
Mm.
That's kind of the baffling part too.
mm,
Especially, I think what makes it a lot worse, like for submitters that do this, because like when you look at a Christian, I mean, as long as they're not like a bad hypocrite, MAGA Christian, no, I'm just kidding. But I mean,
mhm,
uh, if you look at Christians like if they have the Bible, it doesn't like it's not spelled out for them. I mean, really,
mhm,
like worshiping God alone is, but when it comes to like other sources and stuff, they just have the Bible. But like in the Quran, I mean, when you have submitters that have it spelled out plain as day, they know about that worship. Like it's basically laid on a platter for them. The wisdom is
mm,
very. There's no ambiguity. There's none of that, and they still like they have to be much worse. Than
mhm,
somebody who doesn't really have it spelled out for them. That it's kind of
mhm,
confusing and stuff like. Because I mean, if they're not gonna believe that, I don't think. Uh, I mean, even when the messenger
mhm,
clearly spells out the Quran verses and talks about this, they somehow like as the rest of the verse says, they're blocked for some reason. They're
mhm,
blocked from understanding. I mean, they must not be sincere because, like, we have the verse that if they
mhm.
probably if they were, they would like because it says only the sincere can understand the Quran. So they would look at this verse and be like,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, like man, this makes
Mhm,
sense. No other sources, but they can't even understand this
mhm.
verse. You know,
Yeah, they can't understand what it means to uphold the Quran alone. Yeah, and I like in verse 50 how God talks about how if you even turn into rocks, you will be resurrected. We could turn into rocks. Our remains, it would take a long time. Or iron, which for iron, like, you would have to be in outer space because you can't create iron on Earth. Well, unless there's something catastrophic and it is heated to the point that the temperature that caused the formation of iron would also turn into iron. And God says even if that happens, you'd still be resurrected because it's irrelevant. I guess people who, for example, get hit by asteroid, you know, they could expect to, their remains. Now think about it, who get hit by the Apophis and get vaporized instantly. You cannot even find anything for these people, but God will resurrect them also. It's not difficult for God, of course.
like the verse that says the creation and resurrection of one of you is the same for all
Mm,
of.
yeah.
Satan invited. Uh, that's the original sin, right? That's accursed.
The tree.
That is accursed in the Quran. That's in reference to the.
I mean, it could be in reference to that also, and it could also be the tree that. Um, there's also another tree that Quran talks about, right? That grows in the heart of hell.
I think this one, the, the messenger was talking about it in reference to the original sin. You know, like when Adam and
Mm-hmm.
Eve. You know how they said, like, when they ate from the tree, uh, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they,
Mm-hmm.
and they were commanded. Yeah, yeah. I think he told. He said they were told not to eat, not to eat from this tree. Is that what the uh,
Yeah.
don't like basically don't let the devil dupe you. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's most probably about that same one. Okay. And I mean, it's important that God is talking about verse 53 here, because Satan will try to do that. I mean, the submitters, I mean, how they're so few.
Also, verse 70. I don't think I talked about it because of the time, but
Which
how
one?
like the children of Adam are honored,
Mm-hmm.
and how we're given dominion in that sense, like over the creatures, and they're not uh, just we're not just given disadvantage greater advantages, and there's ways for us to be appreciative and think about how good, how easy we have it. Like all the things that
Right.
these creatures, the meats, the milk, also carrying like how powerful and strong these cows and bulls are and horses, and they don't get tired. I mean, yeah, they get tired, like of course, just like everybody else, but they're very enduring, and big things, carrying our loads across the land easy for us.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, if you look at all these other creatures, they have submitted to God, um, and but they have to do. Um, their lives are harder in a lot of ways as compared to us, and especially when it comes to provisions and stuff, right? I mean, it's not like they get an income, and I'm not talking about pets, obviously, like but like other animals that live in the wild. Um, they have to fend for themselves every day. They have to go out and you know hunt and do all these things to try to like get fed. They have to fly or crawl around every day to get their food. They can't get an Uber, for example, or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was watching something a couple days ago, like on these, it was a mountain lion or a jaguar, but it
Hmm.
was adolescence, it had separated from its parents because the time had come. But the narrator I've seen this before with other animals, but it's very difficult, like you were saying.
Hmm.
They become very hungry, desperate, and sometimes a lot of them don't make it, but there's a lot of,
Hmm.
it's not easy. Like this one, he got so desperate that it went to, fully male lion but the male lion ended up letting him eat part of his kill. But I mean, imagine starving for days and then willing to do anything,
Hmm.
like walk up, potentially get killed, but it basically was asking for food. And then, the lion was okay with it. It's all on video and stuff. Like, it was pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, like we can just walk into the store. Like, we have not only do we have like food, but we have like all types of food. I was actually
Hmm.
thinking about this a couple days ago around the house, and I'm seeing all these different. It wasn't that healthy, of course. I wasn't gonna buy it, but I'm still thinking, well, food. It's food. Like, imagine if people. I mean, even when the smoke comes, what types of scarcities are we going to be looking at? Like people are going to
Hmm.
be reflecting on how easy, how freely given things are just appear.
Hmm.
It's like, also too, like if you get sick or get some type of injury, you can't really do much about it. Like I saw a cow the other day,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
there's nothing I could do. Like it was kind of upsetting, but they're pretty strong, and durable, but it had like this piece of plastic, like through its lip, and it got itself. You see this a lot. I think with these wild cows, they'll get into, uh, like somehow get past cattle guards or fences, and they get themselves in a load of trouble, and they
Hmm.
start eating plastic, and they get this thing stuck in them, and there's nothing you can do. Like I'm not gonna walk up to it.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
it's not. But anyway, like it's got to be painful, and they don't have the doctors, and then like other cows,
Mm-hmm.
I was gotten closer looks. They have
Mm-hmm.
all these like these skin lesions and rashes and stuff. I'm like, man, like
Mm-hmm.
you just have to go through it. They're
Right.
going to heaven, So
Mm-hmm.
it's just
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like they get, like small infections or diseases and stuff, that they die from, viruses and out in the wild, obviously. I mean, you can't take them to the vet if you don't have an owner. What do you think about verse 64?
uh, honestly, I think about like the part. I mean, like how Satan entices people, but also mobilizing his forces are not just they're also men, humans.
Mm-hmm.
So Satan like literally has humans that are devoted to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean we see this even in the highest levels of our government. Like there are
Mm-hmm.
people that literally just I think about,
Mm-hmm.
like this
Mm-hmm.
is money, they have money and lots of children and wealth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sharing
But
their money and their children.
yeah, yeah. So the devil promises them these. So when it says in sharing money with children, uh, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? And it's just like how they're
Sh-
rejoicing or spending it basically in the
mm-hmm.
cause of Satan.
You may entice them with your voice and mobilize all your forces on your men against them and share in their money and their children. So, like when they have children, the human devils, when they have children, the jinn devils also have children, and the jinn devils also enjoy the wealth that these people have. Uh, they share that, like while they're with the humans as the human devils, I mean the jinn devils. So they share the money, they share the children, and I mean, so his forces, right? And then they maybe that's how like they enrich themselves and have the temporary enjoyment from that as well, right? And he promises them illusions like you know lies, that they will be invincible or
Yeah, they
they
will
will
be
live
like
forever.
they will be like me. Yeah, exactly. They'll live forever. They'll be little gods on earth, like the
Hmm.
like the disbelieving Jews people
Hmm.
Jew people believe. And they literally say this.
Hmm.
I think you even someone that in the Discord. I mean, go figure. And ironically, in the submission server on Discord, these people
Uh-huh.
were saying they would be equals or something with God. Or,
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. That God will make them partners on the day of judgment.
yeah, yeah, like it
So,
reminds me of a video too. I think I sent it. It's this guy. quoting, something from the Bible. I mean, it's so stupid, like blasphemous. I don't even want to say, but it's just like, oh, I'm wrestling with whatever,
Uh-huh.
and then I mean, you can see the wickedness in this guy. I mean, even like people in the
Mm-hmm.
comments, like Christians and Muslims and
Mm-hmm.
other Jews, were like repulsed by this. And he was like a practicing Jewish rabbi, and you could
Uh-huh.
see like and how the Quran, like it's so accurate, just like still
Mm-hmm.
today, more relevant than ever before. I mean, like these people have not changed. The disbelieving, wicked Jews have not. Nothing has changed. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the biggest, uh, you know, blasphemers. I mean, these things they've come up with. Like with the guy, I would try to find the video again, but I mean, he basically was still saying the same thing, how he wrestles with God, and it's the same blasphemies like that they utter, how God's hands are tied, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like it's so evil,
Mm-hmm.
so stupid. Just,
Yeah.
but yeah, like they really believe that they'll, like back to the verse, like how they're promised, these things, but it's like imagine, the devil promising you something that's evil, and then you readily accept it because you like it. I mean, what does that say about
Mm-hmm.
how these people become exposed, with this life
Mm-hmm.
things
Yeah, I think your voice is cutting out. Your voice is um cutting out, John.
confirm all these.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that at all. The last part.
Okay, uh, is it
Now I
better
can
now?
hear you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what I said at the last part. I think it was.
You just said it.
Yeah,
Shoot,
no,
what the hell
yeah,
did you say?
no, yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, like how Satan invites people. He invites these people to
Mm-hmm.
sin and transgression, and
Mm-hmm.
they accept it.
Right. Yeah, and you have so many people who are the bad weather friends that God talks about here. They don't turn to God when everything's good, going good for them. They only would turn to God, and so this when they're desperate and they have some really bad time, then I mean this also explains how a lot of these people who get rich, like they become transgressors because they feel like their wealth, I mean they idolize, and they feel like their wealth is going to do everything for them, and they don't need God anymore.
Yeah, like I don't realize, that the smart, you know, and then they just used wiped out people learn from it.
Mm. So,
It's so merciful. I mean, thank God for. Never be appreciative enough for his the patience, the mercy, the graciousness. Like even with that example, like human beings are not that way. I mean, I don't want to give myself any tests, but I mean sometimes like when I see gross injustice and evil, you kind of want to go to the extremes. I mean, if it's an extreme crime, you want have like for horrendous crimes, uh, crucify or put these people to end. But I mean, like the examples like with Chiron and these people that were, I mean, they were given another chance too. After wanting to be like Chiron and transgressing in this manner, they were still given,
mm-hmm.
and they repent. They mashallah, they repented after too. So much to be thankful for. But at times, like we're given mercy.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny,
Again and
speaking,
again, too. Again.
mm,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, no, speaking of rich people, it's so funny. Um, I fell asleep earlier, and I started dreaming that I was having tea with Elon Musk.
What kind of tea?
Just like
Was
herbal tea. Uh,
okay.
yes, just some kind of herbal
Was
tea.
it like Moroccan tea or green tea or black
No, no,
tea?
it was like a herbal tea.
Um,
Yeah, just had like lots of different things in it, herbs and stuff. Yeah, you'd have to be careful if you drink tea with Elon Musk.
yeah, he might. He might.
Have drugs in
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like he'll be drinking his ketamine tea
it. Yeah.
anyway. But yeah, maybe I should have that. But I mean, yeah, we know about this.
Hmm.
Maybe he's trying to get in your brain via the little uh, Starlink, maybe the Starlink, or his little chip. Yeah, the also the verses about Satan, like the dialogue between uh you can see, it's the ego that led to Satan's downfall, and then it's the
Hmm.
ego that's keeping most of us from redemption. Because I mean, like, what's the big like? I mean, what's imagine like finding out, being told the thing that one of the main things that's keeping most people from returning back to God and being in paradise forever. I mean, unimaginable bliss and happiness with God. I mean, you would do anything to be told like what this thing is, and then you would do anything to stop it. And we have in the Quran, like we're given a lesson of history, from where we came
Hmm.
from, what caused this, and we can see it's the same thing, just
Hmm.
to such an extreme degree. Like the messenger also clarifies, what Satan thought. He said there was jinns and stuff, pretty high ranking, like almost equal but not equal, but they also too thought, like, oh, well, maybe Satan can do it. Like they kind of thought that about themselves, but not. He said not to the degree that Satan did. Like the
Hmm.
But I mean, we also see, what how his arrogance here. He thinks he's better,
Mm-hmm.
and just because of how he was created. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
does he not realize like God could have made him from water or 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 like
Mm-hmm.
mud or clay or even something like lowlier than mud or clay. Like, but he just so happened. I mean, God could
Yeah.
do. I mean, he doesn't realize this. Like, what you didn't make yourself from fire. You didn't do anything. So, like, there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing special about you. You just so happen to be, and
Mm-hmm.
actually, ends up being the worst. You know, so
Yeah, and I mean,
it's a powerful
also,
metaphor too.
yeah, and also, like, why would you think that, clay is inferior to fire, for example? I mean, God created all these things, everything has its properties and everything has its use, you know? So, y- you know, you think fire is more superior to clay, in what way? Like, you know, who gave the who gave it that superiority? I mean, these are all things that God has created.
Right. Yeah, like there's not supposed to be any
Hmm. Yeah, and you can see the same thing, with right now with people. We know how Satan is preying on people's egos to create chaos in this way, also too. By trying to push this idea that one race is superior than the rest. Trying to use it against people.
Yeah, it's just like a trap for these people.
Hmm.
But it's almost. I mean, it's everything that's happening. It's like good in a way because people are being brought out. Right?
Hmm. Exactly.
How like if your neighbor was you know uh, was an evil individual or like to do and but you would never know. You could never really know unless a situation presented itself. And I mean, now we have multiple situations on a grand scale, on a national, really worldwide scale, that is like
Hmm.
kind of acting as a I mean, it's acting as like as a test, also as a tool,
Hmm.
I mean, same with the Christian. I mean, same with the churches, the Christians. Like, there's this huge divide going on, and so now we know who these really wicked, quote unquote, Christians are. I mean, just
Hmm.
like the one that was, saying we're doing this for the love of Jesus. Meanwhile, he's the field officer for ICE. That is
Hmm.
like he's filthy. He's filthy. I mean, you're murdering people, you're stealing kids from their parents. I mean, like horrible things. And then you're
Hmm.
saying we're all our message here is we're spreading the love of Jesus. So I mean, like, but like, if none of, I'm not saying this stuff has to happen, like, for people to know, but I mean, in a way, I mean, I think it's paving the way. Like, it makes sense,
Yeah.
like, you have to get everybody's number. And so, I
Hmm.
mean, how else are we going to really know, man? These people are really terrible people. Because I mean, before a lot of these things happening, you don't really know, like
Hmm.
what
Yeah, it's not
Christians are really
exposed
wicked,
fully.
what right, like what Christians are much closer to on the side of becoming a potential submitter in the future.
Hmm.
Like where are the like decent ones and where are like the super evil ones? And I mean not just them, but just with people in general too. So,
Hmm.
so I mean, it's not to say like advocating for any of these things are happening, but I think it's like a simple process,
Hmm.
in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bringing out all the bad stuff that needs to go out.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
like the system is failed. The
like
system
detox.
is failing. Yeah, so the failure is all coming out. So,
I mean, like even too with the current president, Trump, like how evil. I mean, like the recording too. I think I sent you yesterday, but it's verified. Like the recording about the information getting out. Uh, I mean, like how else would you know? Like who? I mean, someone so wicked and evil. I mean, unless they were brought to the spotlight, I mean, they would probably
Mm-hmm.
continue to try to hide in shadows. And I mean, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of them still do. Like a lot of these evil transgressors and stuff. But eventually they have their reckoning. But someone like him, I mean, it's it's like you want to be a pharaoh. Well, all your secrets are gonna eventually
Mm-hmm.
come out.
Yeah.
We see what happened to Pharaoh too. We see
Mm-hmm.
what happened
Yeah.
to all those corrupt
Mm-hmm.
leaders. Like they had their
Yeah.
reign,
I
their
mean.
temporary still, but eventually they'll wipe it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as it is, I mean, these people have miserable lives. So you can see like their hell has already started on Earth. I mean, it started a long time ago, but you can actually see it now. All right. So I guess if there are no other comments or questions, do you have any others? I guess if there are no other comments or questions, huh?
I don't
Yeah. So I guess if there are no other comments or questions, God willing, we can conclude the study. Thank you, Brother John, for leading the study, and thank you all for joining us. God willing, our next English Quran study would be on Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. And God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.